justice and participation of youth and women in development process. We have Anita Stacy from Likoni, also from Swahili Pot Hub. Cheer her on, don't fear, celebrate her. Myron? Myron, I saw her? Okay. Let's give them all a round of applause. We'll start with introductions. Chris, just pick the microphone. Let me give it to you. Pass it on. Just introduce yourself and talk about which group you are representing, and then we'll start from there.
Okay. My name is Chris Achinga. I lead the technology department at Swahili Pot Foundation, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ann Mwangi from Kilifi, here for livelihood and economic empowerment, currently a project leader.
Good afternoon. I'm Venus Chitechi from currently Kikambala, but I'm from Busia County University and Colleges Association, and also coordinator Tunda Trees in Action Initiative. I'm representing climate action and gender. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Anita Stacy from Swahili Pot Foundation. I am a gender equality advocate, and I'm here to represent access to justice.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Myron Oside. I'm the Access to Market Lead Big Ship Organization under the Blue Bees program, and I'm here to represent the SRH mental well-being.
So it's great that we have good representation from the CBOs, the CSOs within the coast region, and also a representative from Western Kenya. Thank you for being here. You've all been in different sessions. How would you describe the breakout room that you're in? What was the energy? What did you learn? What can you share with us? We'll just start from here, then go all the way back.
Okay. With the sexual reproductive health and mental well-being, it was quite a good session where we learned about the reproductive health, the reproductive system, the mental health diseases that affect people, and also we learned of ways to deal with all of them.
I was in a access to justice, and the session was quite interesting since everyone had different perspective of how to come about justice in the community and at large. And we also networked. We also learned that we should raise awareness where young girls, young men, they should know how to.
That's great.
So on gender and climate action, learned on empowerment and why men should be empowered to move with empowered women, and how girls, and not just girls, both genders, are taking up spaces to talk about climate action and to act at the grassroots levels. Thank you.
So at the Economic Empowerment Group, I was seated with very empowered young ladies. They have a lot of information for economically empowered women. Yeah, it was so engaging. The facilitators were so engaging. So it was a very good session.
I'm very happy to hear that.
So I think what stood out for me was, as I was attending different breakout sessions, was not only were the participants listing or airing out their challenges, but they're also suggesting solutions and proposing ways to curb that. So that was really amazing.
And on that note, now we're talking about challenges. What are some of the challenges women in technology experience? And did you hear some of them also coming out?
I think the challenges women in technology experience are almost the same challenges that women experience in different fields. In tech, it's a men-dominated world, that one for sure. But the challenges will be on interviews. The challenges are almost the same, but specifically for tech, it's been a great roller coaster of emotions, skill building, engagement with both genders, and now we've seen that over the past few years we have companies advocating for diversity and inclusion in tech roles. So this means we have very notable organizations coming up with programs. For example, Google has Women Tech Makers. There's Women in STEM by different organizations out there, and they really plan to help or upscale women to give them an equal fighting chance for these opportunities in the tech industry.
Thank you. And within your session in livelihood, Anne, I remember I had one of the quotes that was being said by Madam Bwire was, for us to have the power, we need to be empowered. And for you to also repeat that there was a lot of empowerment there, would you point out maybe some of the solutions that came up from your discussion, or just actually start with the challenges that came up in your session?
Well, definitely challenges are part of life. They're everywhere. They're inevitable. But having empowered person, information is power always. But then some of the challenges that are facing or we were discussing is among them the finance, which is a very constant thing. We find that we do not have sustainable funding. Like the Nyota, they can give us 30,000. Our objective or our budget is 300,000, so it's not sustainable. And then sometimes we're just given one off, you want to renew, or they cannot give you the second time, yet you have not achieved the objective. So finances are among the challenges. Another thing is limited empowerment opportunity. Due to gender roles, you find that there is unfair placement of jobs. We find that men are preferred more than women in some jobs and companies also. So there is limited opportunities or employment opportunities. Another issue is cultural limitations. Some retrogressive cultural practices hinder women, and they are a challenge. Another thing is gender inequality, like I said earlier, because of gender roles. So gender inequality is among the challenges that empowered women face, considering that sometimes men feel like an empowered woman is a challenge. So there is a role of gender inequality. Another thing is legal aid. We do not have any information on legal things. The legal information is not known to many. Like we do not know like our rights. Like if you're running a business and the county council comes, how do you handle that? Like if you want to start a business, what are the legal requirements? So we do not have legal aid and we do not have legal information with us. Another thing is limited to access. And also like financial literacy, we do not have any information anywhere. Like the government is not providing like a platform where you can just with one click get information you want. So we do not have access to information. So we also have limited startup kits. Okay. Like I said earlier, I'm a project lead. I'm leading 15 girls in economic empowerment. But then what next after the project? So after their tailoring and design project, what next? I only have the capacity to empower them, skills, but then the practical part of it. So we find that we have limited startup kits. We also have inadequate or lack of skills. They have the will, but they don't have the information. They don't have the skills. They don't know the know-how. They are willing to do, but how? Information is power, you know. So once you don't have enough information or sufficient information, you're vulnerable. Another thing is poor networking skills due to lack of exposure. Some empowered people, men, girls, they are still timid. They don't have the courage to stand out and talk for themselves. So we lack that capacity building, like self-expression. Another thing is accountability and record keeping. That comes due to lack of financial literacy. So how am I going to budget when I don't have any financial literacy? How am I going to keep records when I don't have any information? So you find that these challenges are tying to each other. So if I don't have a financial literacy, it's hard for me to be accountable even for the resources, even if you give me the grant or the cash. If I don't have the financial literacy, then I'm going back to zero. So those are among many challenges that empowered women are facing.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to pass you Venus and bringing it back. There's an issue that Anne has raised about access to justice. No, just give it to Anita. What were some of the solutions that within your breakout session in access to justice, what are some of the solutions to what has been raised?
Maybe there should be mentorship where people are being mentored to know what to do. Like when they want to access justice, like I'll just give an example, like Swahili Pot Organization, they have a mentorship where young women, young men are being mentored, where they know after this, I have to do this. Maybe I have a right to do this, and my voice matters. Yeah, I think maybe they should also go for those mentorship, and also our community should build a safe space where people should just come there.
Okay. Thank you. So Venus, she has also mentioned some of the issues that are cross-cutting and were also picked up in the climate action and gender group. Would you be able to speak on some of the solutions that came from your group, and also maybe in your day-to-day work with the Colleges Association, what are some of the ways we could also give access to information to many of the women and girls?
Okay, so one of the key points that we mentioned during our breakout was on empowerment, which is empowerment is diverse, it's broad. But then we had the solution where women in leadership, for us youths, we are still growing, we are not yet there. So we would like women in leadership who have 10 years and maybe above, or the capacity to support young women who are still growing, to create platforms. It can be an office, it can be an organization, an institution, but it should be a platform where we as young women, we can approach the organization or the institution, provide the need documents so that we can get that support. It can be starting a business, for example, as she has said in the economic sector. It can be financial literacy. For example, in climate action, as young women in climate action, we need to be supported. How? We need that financial literacy in the case where I get funding, but how do I use that money? How do I budget for that? So those are some of the solutions that we came up with. And then youths play a key role. And considering young women have a big advantage. So as these leaders support us, you also need to create a network where us youth, Us women, we get to support each other. I can have the Tunda Trees in Action initiative. She can have another CBO. We come together, or another business. We come together, we support each other to grow. Yeah, thank you.
So what I'm picking from you is we need to collaborate, and we also need to apply the skills that and the information that we have access to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. And we give it to Myron. And how would you say mental well-being can really help in terms of applying the solutions that you may have covered in your session?
Okay, thank you. With mental health well-being, with our solution for mental well-being, we have come up with, there's a mental safe space that are there in this county, in Mombasa County. For example, the Ganjoni dispensary, where you can go there if you have depression, anxiety, bipolar, and anything that's disturbing you, you can go there, talk to them, they'll listen to you and offer you guidance. We are working with stigmatization, where we are going to have sensitization and the support system. The sensitization will sensitize people of all the mental health issues that people go through, and they don't know they are going through the mental health issues, mostly depression. Some of us here are depressed, and maybe we don't know we are depressed. So we will have sensitization, where people will know, for example, the characteristics of a person who is depressed, so that you can seek advice and find solution.
Thank you so much. I know we'd love to hear so much about the challenges and the solutions that were discussed in each group, but due to time, we'll not be able to cover all that. There is going to be a report that's going to be out, so be on the lookout for that so that you can see what the different groups covered and what solutions they came up with. But trust me, everything seemed to be cross-cutting. So we are facing the same issues in the different thematic areas. So please be on the lookout for the report that Stretchers Youth Organization will bring out in partnership with KSG. So as we wrap things up, I would like each of our panelists to give one key takeaway from your session. What are you going home with?
Okay, from our SRHR mental wellness session, what we are going with is, we need to form policies on family planning. Most of our policies on family planning are on this age of 18 years and above, 16 years right now and above. And we have noticed there are young people who are engaging in sex. So we are supposed to form, to educate young people as early as grade 3, 4, 5, about sex, sexual reproductive system, and everything about sex, because they are engaging in sex. Secondly, we are going to openly talk about the artificial sex, using of vibrators, because it's going on, it's with us, and most of people don't know the disadvantages of doing so. We are going to, okay, there's a notion that came up. We are always empowering the child on sexual reproductive health and leaving the boy child out of it. So we are going to include the boy child and the girl child. Because the boy child will assist us. Because every time we have been talking about sexual reproductive health for girls for a long time, and it has been funded, but we are talking about the same thing now and again, the same thing now and again. How can we do it in a different way? We need to involve the boy child in our talks. And then another thing is, we realize that children below 10 years, as early as 10 years, are being given family planning by some organization without the consent of the parents. So we are going to look into it and find professional advice from our health professionals on it, so that we can know how to deal with the matter. On mental well-being, as well as the sexual reproductive health, we also have the help centers, which are in Mombasa. Most of them are in Mombasa. Okay, I'm from Mombasa, so we talked about Mombasa that much. So we have the Ganjoni dispensary if you need any help. We have the Jundam Shomoroni, Wazi in Jundam Shomoroni, Mikindani Dispensary, and Coast General. If you have anything about your mental health, you need to be guiding us about the sexual reproductive health, you can go there. Another thing we took home is that chemists lack the pharmacists. Most of the pharmacists hukunje kwa mtaa, they lack knowledge. Not they lack knowledge, but when they are selling any pills to our young people, maybe the family planning pills, they are only selling to get their income. They don't advise our young people on how to use it. So we need to have a sensitization and maybe talk to them on how they can guide them on using the emergency pills, selling the pills, or even dealing with infectious diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I think even Anita, as you're giving your wrapping up, also you can give any resources that you may have had coming from your session.
Okay, for us, access to justice, we learned that our voices matters, where we should be there in participation. For things to be implemented, we have to be there physically to say what we need. And also we should have a task force, legal aid, and also the public are there present when implementing. And also we should support each other while implementing it. We should not judge, because we should all partner when implementing. And also we also learned that there is no justification of violence. Violence is violence, and every one of us is entitled to get justice, no matter the race, gender, anything. And also we also learned that justice is a principle of fairness. So everyone has the right and freedom to get justice.
Okay, thank you.
And also we also know the articles now. We were also told the articles, where Article 27 talks about the equality, freedom from discrimination, where no one is being discriminated despite of anything. We should also all get the justice. And also we should raise awareness in schools, homes, the community, where you go, churches, kila pali. We should raise awareness of how to get justice. And also about the mentorship, also we should have the mentorship in our community, where we can know this is the right thing to do and this is not. And also we networked a lot. We learned different things, and we also talked about misinformation, where we should depend on information. Tend to talk about what we know individually. Maybe, I know this, and this and this. Then you already were implement. No, we should get the right information from the right sources. Maybe from the lawyers, from. You see, people on the public participation. Different people come to the public participation from different county or everything, and different departments, where they usually talk out things. Yeah. From there, we can get information from there, or to find a follow-up where we can. Also, we learned about the challenges that we face as girls while seeking justice. I'll just say maybe one or two. Poverty is one of the things where we usually don't want to go and maybe complain. Maybe something has happened to me, injustice, and I cannot go to report someone because maybe I'm poor and everything. I don't have the power also to sue that person. Na bado pia naona nikienda kuongea nitaambiwa wewe kesi yako will deal with it, tunapanga. So another thing bado pia, apart from poverty, ni fear, where we fear to report these people to get justice, since maybe wengine ni wakubwa, these prominent people, maybe they are rich. Other one nyingine bado pia ni shame, where we maybe I've been raped, sindio? Yes. I fear to go and talk out there to say I've been raped because of the perspective of how people will look at me. Oh, so this is the girl who has been raped. So you appear one of the things where girls people don't talk out while they are facing injustice. And also the community peer. The community also, we should learn tusinormalize vitu zote, because most of the community say tumenormalize vitu kama GBV. Mtu akichapa the marriage couple, what I sort it out too. So tuache kunormalize vitu, we should just talk out. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Remember, we also have the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence coming up. So let's also get actively involved in that. So I'll ask you to say your key points, those that have not been said, and then let's say one resource so that we can also give everybody a chance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So from the Girls Summit 2025 to the national government, we need inclusion on matters climate change, in terms of climate change literacy to the curriculum. That is number one. And then that is the main one. And then we need to advocate for young women to be included in spaces where we get to talk about climate action and policy. Then we, as I had said earlier, platforms where we get support and financial literacy for girls in climate action. Then we also need education on climate smart parenting. This is something that we don't get to talk about, but when there is that climate crisis, for example, drought, when there is drought, that means there's financial crisis. Parents get to give away their daughters for hands in marriage, leading to emotional and physical trauma long-term to these girls. So we need climate smart parenting so that they can know how best to respond in terms of parenting. So lastly, we need